Alright, this morning was cold as shit and it was raining. So I'm doing this training a little bit later than usual, you know. I got home, ate breakfast, got warm and cozy, and now it's time to hoist. And speaking of hoisting, like I'm super sore from yesterday. Yesterday's push workout where we focused on like the pressing. That was insane. Like I lift my shoulder and it's just so fucking stiff. And also like here the abs, you know, like next to the ribs, I don't know how you call it, obliques, I guess. These are like super sore as well. So anyway, today gonna be a pull day. And let's see, what I will focus on is first, I'm gonna do those 50 pull-ups, front lever pull-ups like last time, just to get started. Because one, they get me warm, you know, they get me going, get the heart clicking and ticking. And two, it just builds my base for pull-ups, so it's actually very useful without getting myself too tired. Because after that, of course, you know, I'm gonna do some presses. My goal for this bulk is to get 45 seconds in front lever hold. So it's endurance. But today, actually, I'm gonna do weighted pressing and holds with 4 kilos, which is, it's been a long time since I did that. But especially like endurance-wise, when it's like not running or something, but like strength endurance, for example, like the front lever, it's endurance, but it's only 1 minute, right? When you have stuff like that, it's good to have like actual strength as well, you know, like not one rep maxes, but you know, heavy stuff to do it once in a while. That's a good thing to do. So that's what I'm going to focus on today. 4 kilos will be very heavy. It will probably end up being like sets of, I don't know, 3 or maybe 4 reps, but I doubt I'll get to 4. So very low rep. And then after that, I'm going to switch it up to another extreme, you know, using assistance and doing way longer sets. So that's going to be fun. We're going to get a juicy pump. I'm especially looking forward to the pull-ups because I don't know why. I just like when I think about a pull-up at the moment, like you might experience this as well, you know. Sometimes your body just responds like with heat. Like if you have energy and you think about a movement, like the areas in your body will just heat up thinking about it. And that's what I'm experiencing today, so I'm looking very much forward to it. Let's do a quick warm-up set here. Some pull-ups. All right, that feels good. Let's head into the main sets of pull-ups, front lever pull-ups. 5 sets of 10 like last time, but I'm also just gonna play around with the way I do the pull-ups, so maybe a bit of no falls, a bit wider pull-ups, you know. And it's gonna be similar, but not the same as last time. So let's go for it. Alright, my obliques being sore makes it harder than I expected. But as a wise man once said, ain't nothing to it but to do it. So that's what we're gonna do. Few sets, no falls. Few more sets. Let's do one more wide one here. Alright, I'm done. Okay, so I'm done with the front lever pull-ups. I did 5 sets of 10, like I said. And aside from the last set, nothing was really to my max, I tried to keep it at 70 to 80%, and that's because doing a set at 70, 80% is way easier to recover than going all out, Like, you can go, like, if you want to build muscle, if you do 1 or 2 sets all out to the max, that's enough to build muscle. But for strength, you also need to be able to have technique, you need to be able to, or you need to know how you execute the movement correctly, efficiently, to get all the power or to be able to output all the power that you want. And if you want to hone your technique, if you want to practice your technique, you have to do a lot of volume. So I'm doing a little bit in between, I'm not all technique, I'm not all like skill work, and I'm not only muscle building, I'm a bit in between. So I don't do like 20, 30 sets very light to practice my movement, but I also don't do like 2 sets balls to the wall end of training, because that would be enough Mike Minster style, Mike Minster was like the king of doing 1 set only and going. So yeah, for me, a bit in between. So what I do is, well, the less intense your set is, the easier to recover, obviously. So I just take like a bit of an in-between where I get tired, like when I do more and more sets, but not like immediately. So like doing those pull-ups, it's like 70, 80% every time. But every time the 70 to 80% gets a little bit harder. And now for my presses, what I'm going to do is the exact same. Of course, I'm going to warm up first. And then after that, I'm going to do some sets, 70 to 80%. I'm going to rest up. I'm going to do the exact same thing again, but I'm going to be a bit tired already. So the same 70 to 80% is going to be harder. And in the end, the damage will accumulate. So I will have done enough damage to my muscles for actually like a response to grow to trigger. But at the same time, I will have done multiple sets so that I can practice my movement. All right, so now some warming up for the presses, first with the band. And I'm doing these as explosive as I can when, pulling up my body, because that way I can prepare to use my full power on the top sets as well. Alright, that might be a bit too explosive. The bar was moving a shit ton. So now I'm gonna, instead of taking this yellow band, I'm gonna do the next set with this green band, then with body weight, then with 2 kilos, and then the main sets will be 4 kilos, as we mentioned. Last warm up, 2 kilos, so this is actually quite heavy already. Let's see how it goes. It feels slow and sluggish, which just means that I have to get stronger. And the 4 kilos is gonna help with that, If I get used to 4 kilos and then I go back to, 2 kilos or body weight, it's gonna feel light as hell. And that's what I'm trying to achieve, I'm trying to achieve, that's my timer, I'm trying to achieve like a light feeling in front lever, even though I'm gonna be at peak body weight in a few months or half a year. Alright, I set a timer every 5 seconds to do a press. It seems awfully fast when I try to press 4 kilos into the air, because when I'm down in the front lever again, the timer is already going again. And basically what I want to do is I want to hold the front lever, because that's the most difficult part, you know. If I avoid the most difficult part being the front lever, where the most pressure is on my lats, that's basically how I stay weak. If that's the weakest link in the entire exercise, I have to practice it more. So I'm gonna put the timer not every 5 seconds, maybe every 6, 7 or 8, so that I have to do a small hold in between each press where I can get stronger in the actual front lever, you know. Every 6 seconds, that's good. Alright, that's enough. Holy shit. I mean, heavy pressing, that's like really the fucking king of back exercises right there. You just feel it's so hard in, you know, basically everything, your entire back, your abs, everything. This is such a high intensity, high toll exercise. Alright, regarding heavy stuff, that's it. Now I'm gonna do some pump stuff for my back before moving to abs, and what I'll do is just the exact same, to be honest, except I'm gonna lose the weights on my feet, and I'm gonna add the green band assistance and do a press every 5 seconds. Now, who knows, I'll probably only be able to do like 10 reps, if that. So it's not like high in reps, but because I'm only doing 1 rep every 5 seconds, and there's constant tension, especially at the bottom, this is like a long time under tension, right? So long time under tension equals lots of blood flowing in the muscles. This is gonna give me a sick pump. And you know it if you've been watching these videos, like when I'm done pressing in the front lever, like I just always get the sickest pump I can imagine. So it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do 2 sets of that, close to max, and then I'm gonna move on to the ab stuff. Did an 8 reps, not too bad. Okay, what I'm gonna do for abs is hanging leg raises. And to be honest, I really don't know what the fuck I have to do for abs or front lever, because I never trained my abs or front lever. You do abs while doing front lever. So this is just a little experiment, because I felt like if I do weighted holds for a long time, it starts to loosen up here at the top of my abs, you know. So I'm just gonna give this a go. And the reason I'm doing hanging leg raises is because then I can test my grip as well, you know. If I can hang for a minute, I have some extra weight on my feet, then I know that at least my grip strength is enough. And in the meantime, I can see how my abs are doing. So hanging leg raises, I'm gonna do these every 5 seconds as well, and we'll see how it goes. That hurts everywhere. What the fuck? It's not only the abs, it's like the hip extensors. It's the fucking jib, like hanging for a minute when you're moving around. It's more difficult than you would expect. So, whew, I don't think this is a bad exercise. I feel my abs, but not crazy, so they're not as weak as I expected. Although I guess this is more of the bottom of the ab, you know, instead of the top. So what I'll do for my last set is I'll just do this once more, you know, try to go for a minute, switch up to tucked if I can't do it anymore. And then I'll superset it with some leg up crunches. It's difficult to explain, but it's basically like you try to touch your toes. And I'm gonna do that with some weight as a superset to hit the upper portion of my abs as well. Whew. All right, cheeky little superset with the dumbbell you see there. Okay, and that's the story of how I became the most pumped individual on the planet. Not only my back and my abs, you know, like my forearms as well, from squeezing the bar a minute long. It's more tiring than you would expect. But anyway, a good ab pump, of course a good back pump. I don't think that's even a fucking question anymore, because these have been very consistent. I'm actually quite happy with how I performed today. Whew, I need to drink some water. Like 3 presses with 4 kilos, like not rushed or anything, like on a good tempo, slow, controlled. That's pretty good. So in all likelihood, I'll be doing the same or similar stuff next time, where I just try 4 kilos, you know, presses, a bit more volume than today probably, but it's a very good effect. And then afterwards, some light work, you know, 50 seconds. That's a longer set than I want my whole to be, you know, so that's perfect. Yeah, like I was mentioning during this workout, I'm training for strength and skills, not only strength. But basically, what that means for me is, well, I just eat to become bigger, and then I train for strength. And yes, it's a disadvantage for bodyweight training, but you know, getting big juicy muscles is my goal as well. So it comes with a price, I guess. And the way I approach this is I just, you know, it's kind of close to bodybuilding, I guess, you know, but just with calisthenics. I take the skills and I apply them to bodybuilding because I like going quite hard or quite close to my maximum or to my maximum. I like, like doing finisher sets, pump stuff, and I like getting strong. So that's the way I approach my trainings. I make sure that I have a bit of a balance of, getting to know a movement, practicing a movement, and then also getting, good pumps, going hard on my sets to the max. And by combining it, I feel like I can achieve my skill goals and my physique goals at the same time. So that's kind of the style of training that I like to do. I mean, everyone's different, you have different goals. If your goal is only to do skills and not build a physique necessarily, I mean, you can just do purely skill training and you don't have to go to your max all the time. And that way, even that way, you will build a good physique as well. If you watch the calisthenics guys, like those are aesthetic as fuck. But if you like actually want to get like big, then I think you're gonna also have to eat a bit, have to eat a bit, go a bit more to failure than you usually would, and that's gonna get you the results in the end. So today was a very successful training in my opinion. We did some new stuff, or not new. It's not the first time that I did presses with 4 kilos, but yeah, it's been a while, so it's good to do them again. Like if I don't do them in a while, it feels new to me, And then afterwards, some endurance-based stuff, pump work, finisher. I really can't complain. So tomorrow is gonna be leg day, and I'm curious how that will go, to be honest, because I only did 2 sets of abs, right? But I never trained my abs, so they were sore from yesterday already, like the obliques here. I don't know why they were sore, but maybe from the planche press. And now I also hit like my main core stuff with these 2 sets, and I never do this, so I'm gonna be sore as shit. I really don't know how my leg day is gonna go or how it's gonna affect that. But there's only one way to find out, right? That's to, eat, sleep, and repeat. So I'll see you for leg day tomorrow.